Hello, welcome to Mr. Benjamin's Math World. Today we are going to be working with first degree equations with compound denominators. It's a first degree equation because the greatest exponent of the variable is the number 1. That's the way you identify when an equation is first degree. The greatest exponent would be the number 1. Compound denominators. These two are the denominators of the fractions, and this is a compound denominator because it has more than one term. One term, two terms, it's a binomial, it's a compound denominator. And we are solving this fraction. As these two are fractions and you add them the same way you add fractions normally. If you remember how you do that is by finding the least common multiple or the least common denominator for the denominators. So what we are going to do is find the least common multiple between 5 and 2x minus 1. The way we do this is just show the multiplication of the two denominators. The least common multiple will be the product of 5 times 2x minus 1. So now we have the least common denominator. And we solve addition of fractions the same way we solve normal addition of fractions. Divided by times. Divided by times. So let's divide 5 times 2x minus 1 divided by 5. Let me show you how the process is. It is 5 times 2x minus 1 divided by 5. And therefore, you cross out, you cancel the 5. So the result will be 2x minus 1. 5 times 2x minus 1 divided by 5, 2x minus 1. 2x minus 1 times 3. Let me show the process. 3 times 2x minus 1. Again, 5 times 2x minus 1 divided by 5. Here is the division. We cancel the 5 and the result is 2x minus 1. The 2x minus 1 multiplies the 3 and here it is. Plus. 5 times 2x minus 1 divided by 2x minus 1. Let me show you the process again. 5 times 2x minus 1 divided by 2x minus 1. And we cancel the 2x minus 1 and the result is just 5. So 5 times 2x minus 1 divided by 2x minus 1 is 5 times 3 equals 0. Let's solve the numerator. We are multiplying 3 times 2x minus 1 plus 5 times 3. Let's multiply. Remember, the number 3 multiplies all the terms inside the parentheses. So we are multiplying 3 times 2x, 6x. 3 times negative 1, negative 3. 5 times 3, positive 15. Over 5 times 2x minus 1 equals 0. Next step, the denominator goes multiplying. We change the denominator to the right side since the denominator obviously it is dividing, that's division, and we move the denominator to the right multiplying. So this denominator we multiply the 0, and whenever you multiply times 0, the result will be 0. So this is 6x minus 3 plus 15 equals 0 times 5 times 2x minus 1. 6x Negative 3 plus 15 equals to positive 12 equals 0 times whatever you have here. It's a product, so the result is 0 equals 0. Now put the like terms together. I'm moving the 12 from the left side to the right side. The operation is an addition, so it goes to the right, subtracting. 6x equals 0 minus 12. Then we have 6x equals negative 12. The 6 is multiplying. It goes dividing to the other side, and the result will be x equals negative 12 divided by 6. X equals 12 divided by 6, 2. Negative divided by positive, negative. Result, negative 2. Our second exercise is also an equation, and it has compound denominators. And if you remember one of our last videos, this equation can be solved also using proportions. And this time we are not going to use proportion because the equation will be solved by finding the common denominator, but it can be done both ways. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take this term to the left. Once I move this term to the left, this will be an empty space, which is 0. So I'll bring down the 2 over 4x minus 1, and I'm taking this expression to the left. Remember, this sign is a positive sign. The whole fraction is positive. So if it's positive, it goes subtracting to the left. Minus 3 over 4x plus 1 equals nothing on the right side will be 0. And now we are subtracting two fractions. But these fractions have compound denominators. Still, we are going to find the least common denominator, which is the product of the denominators. The product will be 4x minus 1 times 4x plus 1. You just show the product. You do not multiply them, because if you do that, it's going to be more difficult to solve it. Once we have the least common denominator, divided by times. Let's divide 4x minus 1 times 4x plus 1 divided by 4x minus 1. Here is the trick. You eliminate the one that is the same. If you divide this one into this, these two will cancel out, and this one will remain. Let me show you the process again. This will be 4x minus 1 times 4x plus 1 divided by 4x minus 1, and then the 4x minus 1 will cancel out, and you will have 4x plus 1 as the result. Four x minus 1 times 4x plus 1 divided by 4x minus 1. These two cancel out, and this will be the result. So we have times 2. Let me show the multiplication. This will be 2 times 4x plus 1 minus. Dividing 4x minus 1 times 4x plus 1 divided by 4x plus 1. These two are the same. We cancel them out, and this will be the result multiplied times 3. So we have 3 times 4x minus 1 equals 0. Let me solve the numerator. I'm multiplying 2 times 4x plus 1 minus 3 times 4x minus 1. Once again, remember, the number 2 multiplies all the terms inside the parentheses. The number 3 multiplies all the terms inside the parentheses. So I'm multiplying 2 times 4x, which is 8x. 2 times 1 equals 2, positive. Because positive times positive is positive. And now I'm multiplying negative 3 times 4x equals negative 12x and also multiply negative. This is important to remember. The number 3 has a negative sign, so this negative sign will be multiplying this positive sign here, but it will also multiply this negative sign. So we have negative 3 times 4x is negative 12x, and negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3 equals. I'm moving the denominator to the right. What is the operation? The operation is a division. Here it is. Since the denominator is dividing, once you move it to the other side, it will be the opposite of the operation. The opposite of division is multiplication. So this will be multiplying to the right. So it will be 0, that's the number 0, times 4x minus 1 times 4x plus 1. I'm solving this. I'm solving the like terms. The like terms, if you remember the like terms, these two are the like terms because they have the same variable. 8x minus 12x equals negative 4x. The rules of signs says when the two numbers have different signs, negative and positive, you subtract the numbers. 12 minus 8 is 4, and you put the sign of the greatest. 12 is greater than 8, so the sign will be negative. Don't forget the last name, which is x, because these two are x. So it's 8x minus 12x negative 4x. Positive 2 plus 3 equals to positive 5 equals 0 times 4x minus 1 times 4x plus 1 is 0. I'm going to take the 5 from the left to the right. Bring down the negative 4x equals 0. 5 is positive, goes subtracting. So we have negative 4x equals negative 5. The negative 4 is multiplying, and here is important part to understand. This operation, negative 4x, means negative 4 times x. So this is a multiplication. If you change this term to the other side, it will be the opposite of the operation it is involved. And the operation is a multiplication, the negative 4 goes dividing then. But when the number goes dividing or when the number goes multiplying, you do not change the sign. You keep the sign as it is. So x will be negative 5 divided by negative 4. X equals, dividing negative divided by negative is positive, and it will be positive 5/4. And this is the process to solve equations with compound denominators. And if you think this was an useful video, please feel free to subscribe and activate the bell in order to receive further notifications. And also, if you have a specific topic of your interest, just write it down in your comment. See you next time.